what's going on YouTube? I hope everybody's been doing all right. I posted a video, I think 3 or 4 days ago, and I think it was like early in the morning, but I had it posted later on during the day. Um, so in that video, the past week, the market was seeing a little bit of turbulence in the market, but I had pretty much made a little judgment call on my behalf that was like, you know what? This is like a little fake out, little sell off. I don't think that this is anything. This is not the sell off I've been waiting for. And I guess turns out I was right so far. Um, the actual portfolio last week or last video I was reading was about 57K at a total amount. But now, as you can see, we're right here. I actually had the portfolio pulled up for today. We're reading a little below 64K. So that's a pretty big swing from 4 days. This is a growth portfolio, so there is a lot more volatility happening in this actual particular portfolio. And I'll admit I had some cash inflows come in. So as you can see, back to the original premise of my stance, I was building up a cash position in the portfolio, and it looks like we're at 3,500 now. I got 1,500 waiting to clear. So I got 1,500 coming in here. So in all reality, I got 5,000, or I got 5 Gs in here in cash for my cash position. My intent is to continue to wait and be patient. There's been a little minor selling here or there, nothing serious. During the middle of the day, I kind of saw it going down a good amount, but so we're seeing some weakness in the market now. I've had a lot of questions come across. Am I interested in the Bitcoin ETF, and what do I think about cryptocurrencies and all that? So just to take a couple questions, or just take a couple seconds to address that, if you will. I'm not interested in buying Bitcoin, at least for an investment. Now, I don't quite understand it as an investment, as there's no revenues or correlated cash flows and earnings or what have you. I got the general idea that there's a blockchain and supply and demand and currency and all that, but without the utility aspect. I see a little bit of utility aspect as far as is being able to transfer money from one location to another. But I mean, you could do that with a lot of other things. Not everything everywhere. So maybe there might be some hard to reach areas where you send Bitcoin. But I'm not really interested in it as me personally, I don't recognize it as an asset class. I mean, if the investment world wants to call it an asset class, they can call it one. But I don't see wealth in Bitcoin as far as the wealth creation aspect of it. So no, I'm not going to be buying the Bitcoin ETF or whatever it is for Fidelity. At least not now. I mean, I might do more research on it, and then if I could put a value on it, I will, and maybe the general idea I will. But yeah, that's my stance on that. So primarily, we're going to be this show, or this channel is primarily going to be about stock equities. So, with that being said, let's get into Planet. All right. I mentioned Planet before. This is a stock that I have loan shares on. So there's some demand to borrow the shares. This number has been going up and down, fluctuating on the amount of collateral shares that are being borrowed. Right now, it's at 3,438. I'm thinking about maybe getting the position up to 15,000 shares for Planet. What are some catalysts that I see? In fact, well, real quick, let's actually pull up the actual buy order position. So, as you can see, this is all the Planet buy orders that I've done. This is the complete history. Full transparency. Let me actually go back to. Okay, so So here's the chart, right? I sold a bunch of Planet. Here, let me just advance this, make this bigger. All around here on this top right here, around like 3 years ago or so, a little over 3 years or under 3 years. Yeah, I sold over here in this area all the way towards the top. I can't remember if I sold all my lots at like 5, 6, or 7, but I do know that it was up there around that area. And as it went down, as you can see, this stock has been in bear market for years. All right. So we're over here in the beginning of 2024. And from June of 21, we've just seen nothing but going down. All right. So that's bear market for you. So what catalyst do I see? All right. Well, let's look at valuation. All right. Our price to sales, we're right at about 1.65, and the actual industry standard or average median is around 4, price to sales of 4, for other MJ companies. So that's something to consider. One thing that I really like is the balance sheet, that they have a net cash position. And that's one of the things that makes me sleep well at night when it comes to this particular equity. Um, so let's pull up the buy order again. As you can see, I mean, I sold a bunch of stock, and unrelated to that. Well, I knew the valuation was up there. So, but that's one of many reasons why. The big majority of one of the reasons why I sold back then was to meet some financial obligations, which have been met. But a little bit afterwards, I think, several months later in September, as you can see, I started buying back in, as it started going down to the 4s and 3s. And I started realizing that, you know what, right around here, I started realizing, you know what, this thing's going to keep going down. So, and I don't see any catalyst for this thing going back up, or doing much for the next couple years or whatever. And I guess I was right. So I said, you know what, I'll take a break. I'll take a break on Planet. Um, so as you can see, like from May of 2022, I stopped buying, and then I started buying back again, like like a whole year later. So I took a year break in buying. So I let it bottom out and let it do its thing. Now it's different. I think that this is the year for Planet, or the end of the year. We're going to see a lot more things happening for Planet. This is a You see, the way I look at Planet is more of a venture capital investment. And what I mean by that is big funds are not allowed to buy certain stocks for certain rules. Even a lot of the cannabis and MJ ETFs are not able to buy Planet, because the market cap requirement is not big enough, right? But I see a lot of promise in Planet. They have a differentiated business model, in the sense that they actually have the physical superstore locations, is like an amusement park business model, entertainment, if you will. Um, as averse to all the other companies, is just a brick and mortar. I'm selling you the flowers. That's it. All right. Well, there's those companies are going to be a dime a dozen. I mean, you got D boys running around that are unregulated, that these other companies trying to compete with, and I see a lack of moat there. All right, but with Planet, I see a moat. In fact, I think they're the only MJ stock that has net cash on the balance sheet. If anybody says differ, or if anybody has another MJ stock that has positive net cash, put it in the comments below. I'm very interested to look at that. But their superstores, I see them as a moat. I see them as people, when a lot of investors look at their superstores, they see real estate, they see commercial real estate with low margins and high overhead costs. I don't see it that way. I see them as actually castles with moats around them. and I see all these other companies as little houses around the castle that are very easily harassed by invaders, which are the B-boys. Okay, and that's how I view this industry. It's highly regulated to the point to where if one of these companies is profitable, the tax rates on these companies are crazy. So recently, the Department of Health sent out a recommendation to the DEA to reconfigure their scheduling to move cannabis from like a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 or vice versa. I can't remember but anyway, they're moving it to a scheduling that's less potent, if you will, to where they won't consider cannabis in the same league as these higher harder drugs like cocaine and heroin and so forth. So with that being said, if they move the scheduling, this would get rid of the 280E tax, which is an additional tax on these companies, and they'd be off the hook, and that would open up a lot of margins for these companies. Planet is not profitable, and to tell you the truth, I'm not really interested, or I'm interested in their profitability, but I'm not concerned about it this year. All right. They do some operational fundamental catalyst to talk about. Excuse me. They have their store opening up. They're launching in Illinois and Florida. Those locations are opening up this year. California is getting kind of close to break even. Maybe they need another year in that location to start breaking even. But their revenues will grow, and they won't grow organically. I'll admit they're going to be more towards acquisition based and excuse me, acquisition based growth, which is inorganic. But regardless, it's going to be revenue growth. Also, with the actual political tailwinds, that can just send this stock up. This stock has a long way to go, and I see a lot of opportunity in it. And I look at this as more of like a venture capitalist opportunity. And when they do meet the requirements for certain funds and ETFs and these different more safer banking, that's another thing that will open up the doors if they get rid of this different scheduling. So they'll have safer banking capabilities and ability to get loans better or easier, and it just opens up a whole new world to help these companies thrive. I think legalization is inevitable. It's part of my thesis. I think it's going to happen. At least that's been what it's been looking like for the whole United States these past however many years. So I'm not saying that we're going to fully legalize this year. That's not what I'm saying, but I am saying that I think there will be legislative and regulatory hurdles that'll be overcome this year. That's what I think. And if I'm wrong, whatever, I'll just hold the stock long term. A long term investor, and we'll see where it goes from there. So with that being said, I hope you all got some value out of it. I mean, going back to what do I plan on doing with Planet? If we get down to I think there will be a sell off. At least I'm hoping that we go back down under the 60s or back to the 60s, and I'll start buying shares and try to get this position built out. But I mean, we'll see. All right. I hope everybody got value out of this. If you're an investor in this sector, consider subscribing, because I follow Planet. That's one of my positions, and the way I look at Planet is, I look at Planet like, how do you say, if this was chess and these positions were all my pieces, I look at Planet as a pawn that is about to get pawn promotion to a castle. That's how I view Planet in this game that I'm playing. All right. So I'm pretty excited for the future. I'll put out some other videos about some other ideas that I got going in different stock positions. But with that being said, hey, subscribe, comment down below if you have another company you want me to take a look at, or you have any questions. And with that being said, I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day.